Spencer's back here again, folks. It might be election season, it might be convention season. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on around the world. But this is my favorite time of the season. It's MLB trade rumor time. It's something that I've always loved to talk about, Major League Baseball. The All-Star game was great. The Home Run Derby was pretty good. Not as good as last year, but I think it was pretty good. The Home Run Derby has changed over the years. The All-Star game is still a fun thing for the fans and the players and the kids out there that love to watch their baseball. It's always pretty special, folks. If some of these things we take for granted, you know what? I can't take anything for granted. I'm just glad to be able to do a broadcast, talk some baseball on YouTube or whatever type of platform it comes up. A webcam, you know, it's something that it's important to me. It's something that I love to do. It is a sport I had watched since I was like 4 years old, 3, 4 years old, before I could even talk. I didn't start talking until I was like, I think it was one or two. But, yeah, it's a sport I've always loved. And baseball is a great game, and you know, we see all the new stars and the new stars coming in, and it's really interesting that we get to enjoy baseball. There's so many stories. Alex Rodriguez is a few home runs away from 700 home runs in his career. I mean, he hit a big home run yesterday. I don't know what he did tonight, but I watched a few games today. I watched the Blue Jays and the Arizona Diamondbacks. I watched a little bit of the Boston Red Sox and San Francisco Giants. I mean, boy, Henry Ramirez had 3 home runs in that game. Unbelievable. Marcus Stroman pitched amazing against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have been playing some good baseball of late, but they are sellers just like every other team. Some real bad news on Clayton Kershaw. It looks like his back injury is pretty serious. There's a 2% chance he might need back surgery because this season's over. And some more bad news for the Dodgers. There's news that Mr. Wood, Alex Wood, is going to probably go for Tommy John surgery for an elbow injury. It looks like the Dodgers are free falling. They might not make the playoffs. I could see them being sellers come the trade deadline, non-waiver trade deadline on August 1st. I just feel when you're looking at the Dodgers, you're looking at a team that they look like they're going to try to win the NL West, but it looks like the Giants are just too strong for them right now. I feel that they just don't have enough juice, enough energy, enough pop to make it happen. So as far as I'm concerned, I feel it's going to be another long year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodger fans out West Coast, it's tough. You know, one of the greatest teams of all time in my book. But at the end of the day, it takes character, it takes belief, and it takes a whole lot of, you know, whatever it takes, you know, to make things happen. So the latest trade rumors news we got cooking here is from the Padres. The Padres are reportedly, this is breaking news, the Padres are reportedly trying to trade Andrew Cashner before he makes his next start tomorrow, July the 21st, 2016. The latest rumors coming from Fox Sports' John Paul Morosi. The report says the Padres are widely expected to move right-handed pitcher Andrew Cashner before the August 1st non-trade waiver trade deadline. And according to a pair of reports, John Paul Morosi of Fox Sports and MLB.com Twitter, and Dennis Lin of the San Diego Union Tribune, Cashner may have already made his final start with San Diego. Cashner is slated to pitch for the Friars tomorrow night, but both reporters indicated that there is a possibility the right-hander could be moved. And well, the teams that A.J. Peeler is looking to move Mr. Andrew Cashner, the list of the teams from Morosi is lists like this. The Orioles, of course, the Baltimore Orioles always need pitching. Ubaldo Jimenez has been struggling this year. Gossman's been struggling. They have the bats, they have the power, they need to get some pitching. Every team in Major League Baseball, if you're going to win the World Series, if you're going to make the playoffs, you're always going to need pitching. And that's what they need. The Marlins are looking for some pitching. They're the 2 teams that have been listed, or teams are interested in Andrew Cashner. Don't rule out the Toronto Blue Jays. I'd even say the Boston Red Sox, even though they got Drew Pomeranz from the San Diego Padres this past week for a highly touted prospect. They're comparing him to the next Pedro Martinez. And some other reports that I've been digging up. And Adam Lind, it looks like he could be on his way out of Seattle. Mike Montgomery was traded today for 4 prospects from the Chicago Cubs. It's an amazing time of the year when you've seen all these moves pile up on one another. I was listening to Buster Olney last night when they were talking on ESPN that the Yankees are fielding offers for Aroldis Chapman, and I hear a rumor from Jeff Payson of Yahoo Sports that I just found this out. I was just reading today. I was just doing my research. That they're going to try to re-sign Aroldis Chapman, the New York Yankees. If they don't trade Aroldis Chapman, it means they're going to try to re-sign him. I don't think the Yankees should trade any of their relievers. There's been talk the Cleveland Indians have serious interest in Andrew Miller. I wouldn't rule out the Detroit Tigers, the Toronto Blue Jays. I wouldn't rule out the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially with their pitching situation. They need some pitching big time. A guy I think the Yankees probably will move is Pineda. Pineda hasn't been amazing, Michael Pineda, but he's been pitching good of late, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees move Pineda. There's been talk of Carlos Beltran if they totally fall out of it. There's Brian McCann that could be moved. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Alex Rodriguez's name is coming up in trade rumors, and there's even talk they might release him, like he can catch on with another team. That's not going to happen. I know that will never happen. But there's a chance he could be traded. I doubt it. A team I think would pick up A-Rod in a second, and probably Andrew Miller would be the Texas Rangers, where Alex Rodriguez signed that big contract back in 2001, and I could see that happening. You know, his bat is huge, or even the Houston Astros, and there's talk of the Marlins. But the Houston Astros would make sense for me for A-Rod to go there, because, you know, he could probably play a little third base, and he could still DH at the same time. A-Rod is a player that, he might not be where he once used to be. He's 41 now, I guess. He just turned 41, I guess, tomorrow, or today. He's 41, so he's getting up there in age. But A-Rod can still play. He can still hit. He still has a great timing, the great power. The speed is still there, the bat speed. That's what I feel will happen. With the Toronto Blue Jays, there is some talk that they're going to probably make a move here. They have some prospects they can move. Batista is still hurt. They're probably going to have to get an outfielder, and we'll see who they go get. Jay Bruce looked pretty good in the All-Star game. He looked good last night. I watched some highlights of Jay Bruce playing for the Cincinnati Reds, and I wouldn't be surprised, in my eyes, to see him end up as a Toronto Blue Jay at the end of the day. And they might not even have to trade off Michael Saunders. I feel they'll probably trade off a pitcher from their team, maybe 2 pitchers from their farm system, or maybe 1 from their major league roster. Their second baseman, I feel he might get moved. The young Devin Travis, I don't know if it's going to happen, but we will see what happens. Oh, here's breaking news. I got some news. It looks like the Rangers have acquired the White Sox, Scott Carroll, for a prospect in their farm system. So the Texas Rangers are making some trades. Here's more information on the 4-player deal. Paul Blackburn is one of the top prospects. Dan Vogelbach, first base prospect from the Chicago Cubs farm system. Another good pitcher. Montgomery's a good left-handed pitcher. The Cubs are going to need that. There's talk they're trying to get Chapman and Andrew Miller. Don't be surprised to see Andrew Miller probably go to the Cleveland Indians. That's the absolute latest. I don't think you're going to see anything blockbusterish. It looks like Rangers have placed Prince Fielder and Chu on the DL. It looks like Fielder could face neck surgery, so his season's probably done. Chu's probably on the 15-day DL. To join, Clayton Kershaw, the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's amazing. It's amazing as we get close to the trade deadline. We hear rumors of teams making moves, teams getting better, teams getting worse. I mean, the most important thing, if you're going to make the playoffs and try to win a World Series in Major League Baseball, just keep winning. These teams don't have to sell. They may be 4, 5, 6, 7 games out. They're not that far out. To make the playoffs is not impossible. You win 3 or 4 games or 6 games in a row, you have a chance to make the playoffs. For some of these teams to just start selling off their players, it just doesn't make any sense.